I'm servicing a Daiwa Tanacom 1200 for a friend of mine who does commercial fishing, and he asked me to service this Daiwa for him. He uses it at least 3 to 4 times a week. This is a 2-part video. In part 1, I will disassemble the reel, and in part 2, I will assemble it after cleaning. There's a lot of corrosion on this reel, as you can see. Trying to spray corrosion X and pulling the nut. It's really tight with corrosion. The handle is also corroded and is stuck, as you can see. I'm finding it difficult to pull it off. Some more corrosion X, little scraping. It should come off now. Rocking it, shaking it, pulling it, there it goes. See all the corrosion on it. Remove the star drag now, and you can see all the corrosion on it. See all that corrosion. Taking off the clicker, it's hard to come because of the corrosion. Taking off the spring washers. The 1200 has 3 spring washers. Then it has a little copper washer there. To remove this plate, we have to take off all these screws. It has 6 long screws and 2 small screws. Yeah. You're trying to take out the cover now. It's a bit hard because there is corrosion and there is rust. It usually pops off easily, but this one is a bit hard. As you can see, there is rust on the bearings, on the outside and on the inside. Rust, rust, rust. I'll spray some WD-40 on it and let it soak. See, all the rust, corrosion, everything. Spray some WD-40. Let it rest. We're going to take off the drag system first. So that's the drag collar and the drag disc collar. This also has rust. Let's clean that out. That's the drag disc collar. We'll clean everything later. Remove the springs. It has 2 springs. Remove the pinion gear along with the clutch plate. Looks dry, not much grease. Remove the set plate B. It has 2 set plates, that one B and the white one is set plate A. Remove the stopper along with the stopper pin and the stopper spring. Now it's time to remove the drag washers. You have to carefully remove the drag O-ring. You can use a toothpick or a pick like what I'm using, and then carefully just roll it out. That's the O-ring. Okay, time to remove the drags, washers. It's very greasy. Just trying to take off all the drag plates and washers. They are stuck because it's very greasy. Not sure why it is so greasy. It's not supposed to have so much grease on it. They're difficult to come out. There you go, there's one more coming out. One more coming out. It has another O-ring that holds down the gear, and I'm trying to pull it out. It's not coming, so I just forced it out. That's the drive gear. It still has 2 more drag washers in there. I'll push them out from the back. They came out. That's all of it. So I just removed the ratchet and the ratchet washer. The drive gear washer also looked worn. That's cleaning up. Now it's time to remove set plate A. You do so by removing 2 screws. I'm actually removing the other O-ring that I couldn't remove because it was stuck. The last 2 drag washers, it was stuck under that. So I'm just removing this other O-ring from the drive shaft. That's the O-ring. Okay, now we remove the set plate A by removing those 2 screws. Unscrew, second screw. That's set plate A. Clean up all that grease. Right, so we're going to remove the set plate now. To do that, we have to remove all the screws. I believe it has 6 screws. We have to remove the finger plate, finger cover, and also the IC module cover. It also has a sensor that we need to remove. So I'll go ahead and remove the back left side plate. Because the screws for the finger cover, the IC module cover, they're on both sides, so you have to remove the left side plate as well. it's all corrosion. Not sure how water is getting in there. So that's the finger cover screw that I'm removing now. That comes off. It's a little hard because of all the corrosion. See all the corrosion. And it has 4 posts. These are posts. They just slide in. The other 2 are under the set plate. When we take out the set plate, the other 2 posts will come out. So I'm going to remove the IC module cover. There's a screw on either side of it. One on this side. We have to remove the screws now, but you cannot take the IC module cover yet until you lift off the set plate. And this reel has a sensor that has to be removed as well. That's the sensor. There are 2 screws, 2 small screws. Just removing the sensor now. And these are small screws, so you have to secure them properly. Tiny screws. So the sensor is out, and now we can lift up the set plate. And the IC module cover will come off now. The spool is attached to the set plate. I will take it apart, but I'm going to remove the worm shaft and the level wind, the pawl, and all of that now. There's a little retainer holding the worm shaft that has to be removed. And underneath that retainer is a small washer. Just use a pointed object, like a tiny flathead screwdriver or like the tool I'm using. It comes off fairly easily. As a retainer holding the worm shaft. That's a tiny washer, very thin and small. Remove it carefully. There you go. Now we still cannot remove the worm shaft without removing the pawl. Have to remove that post. It's easy, it slides out. So just remove the post. And that's the pawl we want to take out, but it's kind of a little difficult. You have to take out the holder nut. There you go. It's kind of difficult to see. That's the holder nut. It's kind of tight because again it's corroded and rusted. It's difficult. You have to just take time, and if your reel is not as corroded and as rusted as this one is, it is very easy to take it off. But this is just giving me a little difficult, challenging. Go ahead and remove that post. Should make it easier. That's the pawl holder nut. There you go. It has a washer in it, so do not lose that washer. And now we have to remove the pawl. There. That is also stuck. That's the pawl I'm trying to remove. There you go. That's a pawl. Now the level wind is free, so I can pull out the worm shaft. Look at all that rust. No grease at all. That's the zero adjuster system, so you have to clean it. It has a rubber washer and a metal washer with 2 ears on it. So that's the other washer. Spraying some corrosion X. This reel has a lot of corrosion, all kinds of dry grease. Okay, so now I'm going to remove the set plate from the spool. So remove the two collar screws. It's holding down a collar, which I will remove now after I remove these two screws. They have a little washer, so keep them safe. Now I'm going to remove the collar. That's the collar. There it is. And now I have to remove spool gear retainer. It's difficult to see, but I'll remove it and show it to you. So I'm using this tool to remove the spool gear retainer. It might take a little time, but be patient. Once you have the right tool, you can remove it easily. There you go. That's the retainer. Now it has a spool ball bearing washer that needs to be removed as well. I pull the set plate from the spool. That's the spool ball bearing washer. It's all rusted and greased and mess. I'm gonna push out the ball bearing. And it will have another washer underneath that ball bearing. So that's a washer under the ball bearing. That's the set plate. That's the zero adjuster system. It's a little hard. I'm gonna clean it. I'm going to remove the spool plate now. It has 4 screws. Clean it up. I taped the reel to protect the braid. So we're going to remove the spool plate. We are removing the spool plate by removing these 4 screws. That's a spool plate. It has 2 spool gears, yeah, planetary gears. All that needs cleaning, which I will do afterwards. Now we're removing the spool plate collar, and note it has a little lip, and the lip goes towards the gear. See all that dirty grease. Set that aside. Removing the spool gear. It also has a tiny washer as a spool gear bearing. I'm removing the second spool gear, which is also a planetary gear. And that's it. That's the inside of the spool. I'm going to clean up everything, and I will do part 2 video to show installation. I'm going to put it back together, replace the drag washers, clean up everything, and put it together. So be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and you will get to see part 2 video. Thank you.